And bam, it is Reggie's Sleepout. Welcome, everybody. I tell you what, we're going to have folks tuning in tonight. We're going to have folks hopefully across the country tuning in, of course, Iowa. We're talking Reggie's Sleepout. This has been a tradition that's been going on for quite a while here in Iowa, made national news. I mean, you know, folks talk about it all throughout the country. So this is exciting. Happens once a year right here in Iowa. This year, it's going to look a little bit different. We're going to get to that. We're going to talk about it. My name is Rusty Johnson. Work for YSS, a glad, proud supporter of YSS, but glad to be part of the YSS team. We have a couple of other YSS folks with us here as well. Toby O'Berry, our IHYC Director. Welcome, Toby.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Actually, today is my 8th anniversary at YSS.
I was going to say it. You beat me. Congratulations, Toby O'Berry.
My forever job. I love this agency. So happy to be here.
Well, and who better to have on with us than our CEO president, Mr. Andrew Allen. Andrew, welcome.
Yeah, grateful to be here. Thanks, Rusty, for hosting. Congratulations, Toby, on 8 years. I'm telling you, I was on the board when we hired you as a volunteer, and it seems like you've been with the organization longer, just given the impact. So really, really grateful. This is your forever job. I'm probably sitting in my seat partly because of you, too, because you texted me at one point and said, hey, are you applying for that job? I'm like, no, you should.
Oh, wow. So, well, you know, tonight, folks, we are on Facebook Live. So if you are tuning in, you're seeing us live if you're tuning in right now. Here's the deal. Since we are live, please ask some questions. Put some comments in the comment box there, and we'd love to get to those. If you are watching it later, do something. Share this, because what we're talking about tonight is going to keep going for several nights to come, I believe. Right, Toby? How many nights?
10 nights.
10 nights. 10 nights that we are going to be broadcasting live, coming to you. So please share this. Get the word out. This is the first night. So the first night you can get the word out there. Get it to everybody. And folks can partake in this. They can become a part of this. Exciting stuff. Okay, so let's get there. So Toby, when we're talking about Reggie's Sleepout, what is Reggie's Sleepout? How's it different? You know, because I hear it's Sleepout at home this year.
It is. Yep. So Reggie's Sleepout this year, due to COVID, we've had to pivot a little bit, but I think it's made it even a stronger event. So it typically used to be in November at Drake Stadium. We would have kind of high school, middle school students, youth groups, church groups come and sleep out at Drake Stadium for one night. And due to COVID, that's just not feasible or safe. And so we wanted to still share and allow the community to have this opportunity. One, to still social distance, bring the event to them, and let them participate and still give back to the community. So what this is Reggie Sleepout at home, where friends, where family can come together, grab a tent, grab a sleeping bag, sleep in your backyard, sleep in your living room, kitchen, wherever that's safe for you. But really it's bringing it home, so it's virtual and more people can participate because it's a longer time period over those 10 days. And it's really kind of an exciting time for us, because this is an opportunity for more than just those individuals on that one day to sleep out, that more people in the community can participate in Reggie Sleepout at home.
And I tell you what, right before this video, I was trying to scramble and share this on Facebook, because you're right, everybody can participate, no matter where you're at, no matter who you are. You could be a person that's single. You could have a family. You could be married. You could have a church group. You could be part of an organization. Everybody out there. So again, please spread this message. And Andrew, I know that you've been a part of Reggie's Sleepout. I believe, if I heard this right, from its conception or from its beginning. Is that correct?
Yeah, you bet. And I want to, just say hats off to the team as it relates to innovating this year during COVID and coming up with this idea to do it at home. Because, like Toby said, this is going to expose this event and the opportunity and create awareness, far more broadly than we had in the past. Yeah. I was sitting downtown with a group of people, having come off another fundraiser that had flopped for Iowa Homeless Youth Centers. I was a volunteer. We were sitting around in a circle, and I'd just been to Light the Night for leukemia and lymphoma. And I said, we got to do something like a walk where, we get a whole group of people advocating and raising money on our behalf, but not a walk because, there was just so many walks. I said it again. I said again at the end of the meeting, I said, we should sleep outside. And the whole team of people just kind of rallied around that idea. And my idea was to be something cold that everybody would hate, and everybody else said, no, we want them to come back. So we kind of found a happy medium. And while this is, it's been 15 years, this is the 16th event. We tried to do it in Ames for 3 years and didn't quite take off like we wanted to. And just couldn't be any happier to launch Reggie Sleepout at home. I think most people know the story of Reggie Kelsey, and I share it all the time. But essentially, this is an event that's honoring a young man who aged out of the foster care system. And 3 months later, they found him dead in the Des Moines River. And so a bright light was shown on a gap that existed in the system. We had transition age youth aging out of the foster care system that just didn't have the supports that they needed in order to transition fully into self-sufficiency as adults. And so as a result of tragedy, as often is the case, the state legislature stepped up. They created some funding for what today is called the Iowa Aftercare Services Network. And, couldn't be any more proud that YSS has held the contract with Department of Human Services for almost 2 decades to provide support to transition age homeless youth. And this event, is in memory of Reggie. We simply just don't want kids slipping through the cracks. And the work that Toby and his staff are doing in Des Moines and really across the state as it relates to our transitional services is ensuring that kids who are emerging into adulthood, who don't have families to fall back on, who are at risk for, not just homelessness, but, mental health issues and addiction and even human trafficking, have an opportunity to, be self-sufficient, have the support of an advocate, and live successful lives.
Awesome. And this event, you said 16 years now, going on 16, correct?
Yep.
That is incredible. And the impact that it has had, I can imagine is far and wide. And speaking about the impact of the event this year, when we talk about the impact and raising, like, let's just even talk $100 for the event. So Andrew or Toby, can I ask you to talk a little bit about the impact for folks registering? How is it going to impact as far as money wise?
Yeah, I've got my cheat sheet right here, and Toby and his team, like I said, are doing a great job, but it costs money, right? It takes resources in order to provide a lot of the services that they're providing. So $100, believe it or not, will provide 2 nights of safe shelter for a young person, or 5 monthly bus passes to get youth to school, work, or home, as you see on the screen, or even potentially 50 meals at the Youth Opportunity Center. So from my standpoint, as I take a look at, cost per unit of service, right, $50 a night to provide shelter in our emergency or eBed program right downtown at 612 Locust, that's a pretty good value. And I'm telling you, it's a safe space for those kids to get off the street. Bus passes must be $20 a month. That doesn't cost much, but transportation is essential to the kids that we're working with. And then it looks like Toby and his team, we've got a full-time chef, and I think even a part-time person, and they work with kids on skills as it relates to how to cook food and in the kitchen, and looks like you're producing meals for just $2 per meal. So that's a pretty efficient use of resources, and $100 can obviously go a long way. So really, again, the event is twofold. It's to raise money, but it's also to raise awareness as it relates to the issues of youth homelessness across Iowa.
Yeah, and raising awareness. I mean, what more of a creative way could be done? I have some neighbors here that I'm hoping are going to sleep out, And hopefully, Toby, maybe a little bit later on, you can talk about the resources that my neighbors would get to be a part of Reggie's Sleepout, and just the awareness and the education that you can give your kids, that you can give neighbors, that you can give other family members about this. And so absolutely raising awareness, raising the funds. It takes a lot of folks to come around the table and to do this. A lot of community support, a lot of organizations and business that make this possible. The folks that are watching right now that are going to participate, and the ones that are participating, I want to encourage you. Again, this is the first night. This is the kickoff. Yep. If you're partaking in this, or taking part in it, I should say, I want to encourage you to do something. That is to take some photos of what's happening, your experience of this virtual sleep out. There you go, just like Andrew's phone right there. Take some photos, and it's as simple as throwing a hashtag on it. Throw the hashtag at RSO at home. So again, hashtag RSO at home. And hopefully here in the next coming days, I think Toby said 10 days, that we're going to be broadcasting this, we can share some of your photos. And hey, the catch is inspire some other folks to jump on board and to take part in this for that twofold that Andrew was just talking about, to raise awareness and, of course, to raise funds for homeless youth here in Iowa. So one more time, again, that's hashtag RSO at home. And I also know that there's going to be, and Toby, help me out here, a random drawing.
That's right. Yep.
So what's that about?
So it's a random drawing for anyone who shares a photo on social media with that hashtag. They'll win random drawing. 2 people will win a yard chair. So what you see right there on the screen, the yard chair. So it's just kind of a fun incentive and raffle, an opportunity to win a chair for posting a picture on social media about participating at Reggie Sleepout.
And the chair's worth $1,000? Oh no, that's if you raise $1,000.
Raise $1,000, but it has Reggie's.
That's a pretty quick way to raising $1,000, is just to post a picture at RSO at home.
Well, and I'm excited, Andrew. I'm excited to see some of these pictures, because I'm excited to see how creative folks are going to get, and just the experience and the happy faces, but also just, I mean, this is, again, I was telling Toby earlier today when we were talking about how awesome this is. And it just makes me excited to think about how everyone this year can get involved. You don't even have to drive and be there in person.
You just, Rusty, you think about kind of the negativity and the chaos that we're surrounded in currently. And it's deafening. And so to be able to take a half a day or an evening and be with your loved ones, sleep out for a good cause, still safe, still social distancing, and being able to kind of contribute a positive element into your community with so much negative stuff surrounding, it's amazing to be able to have that opportunity. So I would just challenge more people to think about participating, because it's just a great way to do something positive in your community for the next 10 days.
And it feels to me like there's a lot of people on edge to do something impactful, right? There's a lot of folks that, surely know volunteering, giving back, doing things for other people actually creates endorphins that make you feel good, right? Going down the road, if I'm not with my family, maybe, and somebody's broke down, especially if it's raining, it's one of my favorite things, because it's going to be quick impact. You're going to be able to get them some help quickly, and it's going to release some endorphins. This is not too dissimilar. And people have not been able to get into our shop and our organization to be able to volunteer directly. But this is a way that, essentially you can do it. You can do it in a safe environment. You can feel good about the fact that you're helping somebody else. And especially if you've got kids or a family, what a great way to introduce them to the plight of the less fortunate, to talk to them about youth homelessness. And Toby and his team have done a great job putting together materials that, provide education throughout the 10 days.
So there you go. And if you're tuning in right now, I see a live comment right up there on the screen just now. You can make comments, ask questions. We are live if you're fortunate enough to be watching live.
I like the comments.
Yeah, I love the comments and questions as well. So please put those out there. We're talking about Reggie's Sleepout. This is the first night of the massive kickoff of 2020. Reggie's Sleepout at home this year. It's taken a different form, but a incredible form, I must say, a really exciting form. So if you're watching later on, hey, share it for us. If you're watching now, share it for us. It works that well too. And we were talking about people getting involved. We were talking about maybe even groups or organizations jumping on board. So Toby, I also hear another kind of incentive or something exciting is for groups to be featured throughout these next nights that we're going to be doing live broadcasts. Yep. So are these groups that will be just jumping on board with Reggie's Sleepout, or how does this work?
Well, some of it is just kind of highlighting a team each night that's participating and maybe giving a little backstory on that. And the team that we're going to highlight tonight is called Team 612. Okay. So that is literally a team of homeless youth who have signed up to raise money for other homeless youth.
Wow.
So it's so impactful to see our youth who are so in crisis want to give back to others. So when I saw on the reggiesleepout.org page and you see Team 612 and the youth are excited to fundraise and participate and give back, it energizes me to participate, seeing our youth want to give back to others as well. So I just wanted to shout out to Team 612 for the first night.
Kudos to Team 612. Congratulations on that shout out tonight. And again, incredible. Incredible. So every night we'll have a shout out to another team that is participating. So again, make sure that you're submitting your photos. Make sure that you're getting us all of the great experiences that are happening during Reggie's Sleepout at home. Hey, Andrew, again, with you being a part of Reggie's Sleepout for so long, kind of during the creation, I correct me here or call me out if I'm getting too personal, but I want to know what would it be, or why would it be, I guess, personally, why are you participating? I know you're the CEO. Why, I know you're the executive director of YSS. Why personally are you being a part of Reggie's Sleepout?
Well, I had seen on the script that Toby was going to talk about Team 612, and I could have guaranteed you that Team 612 was his staff, Elizabeth Patton and team that work at 612. And I'm a little taken aback, right, by this is a group of homeless youth who are in our emergency beds, who've coalesced together to create a team to raise money for other homeless youth. That's why I'm sleeping out. Many people know my personal story. I credit YSS with saving my life 25 years ago. This year I was 17 years old and in a really bad spot, and YSS's mission today is to create hope and opportunity. I was given both, and really grew up inside of YSS under the mentorship of guys like my predecessor George Blitzos, but also guys like Toby's dad, who was one of the founding members of the Iowa Homeless Youth Center's board, and on the YSS board of directors for a very long time. He believed in me more than I believed in myself, and encouraged me to not just be thinking about myself, but be thinking about how I can be helpful to other people. And so I don't have any tattoos. If I were to have a tattoo, it would probably be a Reggie Sleepout tattoo, because I love this event. For 10 years, my job was to give away and focus on philanthropy for Principal Financial Group. Think about corporate social responsibility. And so I saw lots of fundraisers. I saw lots of events. And there were a few special ones. And of course, this one's special to me, but this one is special because it's not a black tie event. It's not a walk or a run. It's not a charity auction necessarily. This is an event where you actually get to experience something slightly uncomfortable. And while no one will ever know what it feels like to be a homeless youth, this is a chance. It's an experiential sort of fundraiser where you can bring your family, you can bring your neighbors, you can bring your church group along to experience something that will bring you closer to the cause, allow you to have more awareness, and also, of course, raise money. So I sleep out for those other kids. I've been watching the videos that Blake has been producing behind the scenes. Today there was a video that showed up in my mailbox. I watched it probably 7:30 this morning, of a young girl who I've interacted with down at 612 Locust, who I know has been in YSS programs. And she was talking about how she was desperate and she was hopeless and she was bad into drugs and alcohol, and she'd been sober for 8 months. And I'm just like, I'm watching this thing. At first it was an 8 or a 10-minute video, and I'm like, oh, I've got like a lot to do. 8 minutes is kind of a big investment, but I had to watch it. And I got to the end, and she just said she'd been sober for 8 months. And I'm just thinking, yes, like that is why we do what we do, to take somebody from the depths of homelessness as a young person, give them hope, create opportunity such that they can get sober, and then share their story, their testimonial, knowing that it's going to impact the lives of other people. That's my story. I was helped, and I've been given the opportunity, blessed with the opportunity to help other people. And I'm confident that there's kids right now in Toby's program, in those emergency beds, on Team 612, that if they are believed in and mentored and coached and provided opportunity, that they too will go on to create significant impact in this world. So that's why I sleep out.
Well, and with you being a part of Reggie's Sleep Out so long, Andrew, I'm sure you have lots of memories. But do you have a favorite memory of Reggie's Sleep Out?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. And Rusty, I hadn't been thinking about that. I don't know if it was in the script or not, but I had not been thinking about that. I have been to every single one of them. Everyone in Des Moines, everyone in Ames. We've had to cancel a couple, but have been intimately involved. Early on, I want to admit that there was probably some ego involved, because there was always like a fundraising competition about, who could be on the leaderboard. And, I always wanted to be at the top of the leaderboard. And somebody like Jack Hatch, who had a lot of exposure, was probably raising money for his own re-election campaigns. He and I would kind of go back and forth. Or there was one year where Michelle Griswold and I kind of went back and forth. And so for a period of time, it was probably about, I kind of wanted to be on top. I've just got that competitive spirit. The memory that I have is early on, those first few years, it was like a scramble to get my emails out, to raise awareness, to plan for the event, to get all the logistics done. And it was Rusty, to be honest, it was that day before the event where you'd done as much as you could. All the planning was done. Things were just going to have to play out. There wasn't probably a ton of more money to raise. And it just settled in on you. The impact of the event and the weight of youth homelessness, the weight of the issue that we're trying to solve and work through. So I would say it's that the first few years, and while it's waned a little bit, it's still an impactful event for me. I'm going to get that 10 times, I guess, this year. But it's that it's that moment between all the planning, all the work, all the effort, all the action, and the event. There was a pause when the weight of the issues of youth homelessness really hit me, and as did the weight of the support from the community. My job used to be representing a corporate foundation where we gave away, almost $15 million a year. And I don't want to say I used that to raise money, but people were more generous when I was asking money before I became a guy that had to raise $20 million a year to run the organization. So just to see the outpouring of support, both then and now, of people who believe in this cause and give their own hard-earned disposable income to support this event. And sometimes, people are given money that, could probably go to something else, is really impactful. The stewardship of that's important to us as an agency.
Yeah. And Andrew, I can attest, I've been blessed to be able to live all throughout the country. Born and raised here in Iowa, and moved away for about 15 years. And I decided to move back. And one thing that, when you were just talking, that kind of hit home with me was kind of that Iowa support. you know, that you're exactly right. That folks do. They come around the table and they truly support one another. And it's kind of that community engagement, which ultimately is what we're talking about with Reggie's Sleepout. Is it takes community and it takes these different programs that YSS has and that we put out there. And each week, or excuse me, each day that we're hosting this, we're going to highlight a program.
Mm-hmm.
And the program tonight, Toby, I believe is 612 that we want to highlight, which conveniently enough, also the 612 team was highlighted. But we have a program 612 as well, correct?
Yep, it's our kind of headquarters, home base in Des Moines. We have a lot of different programs there. And we have a great video that I think we're going to show that kind of showcases all the programs that we have there.
Awesome.
Drum roll, please. Oh, we're not behind the scenes. We're still here.
Opening in summer of 2016, the Youth Opportunity Center serves as a hub for our street outreach, aftercare, counseling, and post-secondary education programs. The space is built to meet the needs of our drop-in youth and features an industrial kitchen, donation center, computer lab, and more. It is also home to our emergency bed units and administrative offices. Located at 612 Locust in the heart of downtown Des Moines, the space plays host to several free social events, as well as healthcare clinics like STI testing, flu shots, vision and dental screening care for our youth. Here is our Youth Opportunity Program Coordinator, Elizabeth Patton, with a closer look at our emergency bed units and a tour of the rest of the facility.
This is an example of one of the rooms we have here. We have 9 individual rooms located at our 612 Locust Street Center. Those are individual rooms where you can stay 30 days, and then they get extensions if they're working with their case manager. These beds are specifically for 18 through 24-year-olds who are experiencing homelessness. We work with them on whatever goals they identify. That can be employment, housing, anything like that again. But again, our goal is to really fix that basic need of shelter, and then we can provide those wraparound services as well.
This is our kitchen here at the Youth Opportunity Center. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all of our clients who need it. All of our meals are made here in-house. We work as able to connect the youth to helping make the meals, helping them learn that life skills, and as well as getting their feedback on what menu we serve. We also have a lot of volunteers. When we are able to be open, volunteers help us in serving all of the meals, prepping, you name it. We have volunteers help out here in this space. We work really closely with the Food Bank of Iowa to help get all of the food that we serve, as well as local Greater Des Moines and places like that to be able to serve the youth that we do with all of their needs.
This is our art room. We use this space. You can do one-on-one art here. Kind of helps pass the time. We also realize it's a really great way of connecting to your emotions or processing what's going on. So we do a lot of art groups in here. We did art journaling with our counselor, partnered with our local artist on staff, Deb, to provide those classes here. With COVID, those classes have stopped, but so we do a lot more one-on-one here in the art room. In the fall, we will have an art therapist interning with us, so we'll be able to do one-on-one art therapy here in the art room. When it's not COVID, we also look for a lot of volunteers to help us provide that programming here in our art room. This is our laundry room. We use a lot of laundry here. Our youth are mostly clothing insecure, and so they have to do a lot of laundry throughout the week. That's why it's really nice that we have industrial washers and dryers that we can clean all of their clothes as well as our building. Since we have the emergency beds here, we wash a lot of bedding, towels, things like that as well. So these get a lot of use, and we're able to keep the youth able to have clean clothing through, which is helpful for job interviews and regular life, of course. We have 4 gender-neutral bathrooms, so each bathroom has a sign here, so it shows our, again, support for individuals who identify as anywhere on the gender spectrum. Each bathroom has their own shower and sink, so even youth who don't live here with us can have that private space to shower as they need it. We also, of course, have an ADA accessible restroom here as well.
All right, and hey, shout out to 612.
Yeah.
Our little spotlight for tonight's Reggie Sleepout at Home broadcast. So 612, thank you for all you do. And Toby, my goodness, what you do for 612, what you have done, what you're going to do. Thank you.
Yes, I'd also like to give a shout out to Elizabeth Patton, who did that interview. She's just celebrating her 7th year anniversary as well. It seems like once we get great staff, they stay, and it helps with the relationships we build with our youth. So yeah, shout out to Elizabeth. 612 is a great facility and location. We were very mindful of that name from a marketing standpoint. You would want to put Iowa Homeless Youth Centers on the signage and have great marketing. But from a youth's perspective, the last thing they want is that stigma of having people know that they're homeless. And so it's why it's just our Youth Opportunity Center. The youth call it the YOC. It's 612. That's the address. They can be sitting on the bus, riding, talking with a friend saying, hey, let's go down to 612. And no one will know kind of that backstory or what's going on. It's difficult from a marketing standpoint, but it's fantastic for our youth, for them to be empowered to be able to say, let's go to 612 or the YOC and still have that kind of respect and dignity. So it is the YOC, it is 612. There's a lot of different services. We had a large federal funder come through in 2017. They do audits across the nation, and they toured the 612 Youth Opportunity Center. And when they went through that tour, they said, you know what? You guys don't have a federal grant specific funded for your Youth Opportunity Center, but this is one of the top 2 facilities we've seen in the nation. And so for us to have that in Iowa for homeless youth, we used to have a facility that maybe wasn't the greatest. And the fact that a youth can come in that front door and see that space and know that the community values them, wants them to be successful because we put this millions of dollars into this space for them, it's amazing and rewarding to see on that youth's face when they come in that front door and smile and they know it's a safe place and they can just access services. So I can't be more proud for the 612 and for that staff and for YSS to have built this facility in Des Moines. It was a labor of love, but I think it's going to be something that will be with us forever. It's connected to the Skywalk. It's just a perfect location to provide services for homeless youth.
And, I am not saying this because Andrew is on with us, our
okay.
president, but I just had to proceed by saying that. But I do want to say that YSS folks, if you're tuning in right now, you've heard of a couple of programs of YSS. If you want to check out ways to become involved with YSS or even employment opportunities, it's real simple. Just go to www.yss.org and you can check out 612. You can check out the department that I'm involved with, which is Prevention Services, or CYFD. Another acronym. We have lots of acronyms. Youth employment, mentorship, all the mental health sector. I mean, so many things with YSS. Another thing, Toby, as I understand, as now I'm going by my script here, that we're going to be doing every night for these next, 9 nights now, is a bit of a statistic focus, should I say, because I think it's important for folks to know out there that Reggie's Sleepout at Home, of course, we've talked about the importance, whatnot, but, to talk about the current statistics out there.
Yeah, some of it is just boils down to kind of a did you know that a lot of individuals that are participating at Reggie Sleepout or just in the community don't quite grasp the magnitude of youth homelessness. the number one cause for youth homelessness is an unsafe home environment. So that's basically someone has just lost the lottery in life and to be born into crisis and trauma. And so really it's something that's not that youth or that kid's fault. And so we have to help them dig back out and be successful on their own without kind of a lot of the stable support system. 50 to 60% of the youth that we work with have been physically or sexually abused. So they've gone through a lot of trauma in their lives. And it's hard. Sometimes it's from adults that they know or love. But you also have to understand that it's not hopeless, that these youth are resilient. They can be successful. They just need someone to believe in them. And so 94% of the youth that we work with that have exited our long-term housing programs last year moved into their own permanent housing. So they are moving on to becoming self-sufficient. So they're breaking that cycle of poverty through services that we're providing. So you provide that upfront service, but then on the back end, they're going to be financially independent and successful in our community.
94%.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that a lot of times agencies show, like the desolate in the gutter, kind of those pictures, and they try to use that to get someone to give money. And we have the stats that are like the scary ones, but we also have the really positive, uplifting ones of the positive outcomes that happens when our youth are engaged in our services. So I like to provide kind of both of them at the same time and not just the negative piece. There is a lot of the trauma, but there's a lot of success that comes with these youth. And it's day in, day out, and we see it at the Youth Opportunity Center.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we wrap up tonight, again, my name is Rusty Johnson with YSS Toby O'Berry, our our IHYC Director, and of course, Andrew Allen, our YSS President and CEO. First and foremost, thank you all for being here, and thank you for having me be here and be a part of this. Every night for the next 9 nights, please tune in. Get other folks to tune in and be a part of Reggie's Sleepout at home. However that looks, it can look different for every single person. You can adapt it as you will. And, hey, Toby, real quick, for the folks that want to get involved and want to get, I believe there's like a yard sign, and I might have even skipped over that in my notes. But there's a lot of perks that folks can jump in and be a part of, right? Or get.
Yep.
Can you talk just real quick about that? If folks want to go to, I believe it's reggiesleepout.org. Is that right?
Yep. You go to reggiesleepout.org, sign up. You'll receive a water bottle, a bag for your groceries for everyone that signs up. And you'll also be able to receive that yard sign that you see right there. And so a yard sign will show up on your front door for every team that participates that says, "I'm sleeping out for homeless youth." So you can let your community members know how you're giving back and invite others to join in as well. So if you sign up, that yard sign will show up a couple days later on your front door.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know how you're doing that logistically, but well done, Toby and team.
I don't want to talk about it. No, it's worth it. It's good.
No, and it is. I mean, and there's, look at that. There's swag, folks. There's swag. So, again, www.reggiesleepout.org. You can go there. You can register. And the big thing, everybody that's listening to this, please, 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 please get the word out there. Get the word out there. Just share it with even 1, 2 family members, friends, anybody. And as soon as we're done, I'm sharing this broadcast and getting the word out there. So Andrew, if you don't mind, since you know, our CEO here, do you mind kind of closing us out here and maybe talking? I hear that there's a challenge to all campers, and anything else that you would like to kind of give us with some closing words?
Yeah, thanks again, Rusty. And meet Flynn. We're about to have a visitor. Somebody recently, like, take dogs in pictures get more likes than just regular pictures. So what about goats? I also want to just say, as I saw that video and I saw Elizabeth Patton, giving the tour, and I hear Toby talk. We're sleeping out for homeless youth, obviously, but I'm sleeping out for Toby and for Elizabeth too. Like, part of my job as the CEO of this agency is to ensure that we've got the resources to deliver on our mission. And it's Toby, who worked on Wall Street for a financial services company, had an amazing professional career, could have gone on to make a ton of money. And not that he's not making a ton of money at YSS, but he's mission-based, right, at YSS. And Elizabeth Patton, who's invested so much of her time and energy into the work that she's doing, they deserve the right tools for the job. And the money that's being raised here helps ensure that we've got tools to meet the needs of the kids that are homeless across the state, and especially in central Iowa. So there's a lot of things that I could say here. I want to share a story that I shared with staff earlier today. This event, and I'm going to move away from my goat just a little bit. This event, in its peak, had 1,500 people sleeping outside. Was raising $150,000. Now, you might have seen the ticker. We're almost to 70,000, and the number of people that might come to Drake on any given night in October or November, of 100% of the population, there's probably only 1 in 10 that would say that might be something that I think I could do. And of that 1 in 10, maybe just 1 in 10 who actually did it. So that would be 1%. The number of people who could potentially participate by sleeping outside in their backyard or their living room, I feel like isn't 1 in 10. I feel like it's 1 in 7. It's 7 out of 10. And of the people that do it, I hope it's 3 or 4 out of them. So I am I'm pleading with you right now to sign up, to register. The email that I got this morning that the team put together, it said day 1, and I know it was just going to people that had registered. I'm thinking we're missing the opportunity to educate so many other people, and we'll repurpose that stuff. It will be on social media. We'll share it. But if you're not signed up, you're not going to get these emails. And not that you need another email, but if for one day, for a 10-day period, if once a day you get an email reminding you that there are people less fortunate with tools about how you can help, I think it's going to be impactful, especially given the time that we're in. The email that I sent staff today said something about the bystander effect. And I don't know if anybody's been through CPR training previously or currently, but the Red Cross a few years ago did some research, and they changed the way that they trained because of the bystander effect. Essentially, step 1 was check the situation in the environment. Step 2 was call for help. And they used to train you to say, someone call 911. And what would happen is 911 wouldn't get called. Why? Because a group had gathered and everybody just assumed that somebody else would do it. All right. So the training today is not someone call 911. They point and they say, you call 911. And they assign that responsibility. So somebody knows it's their job. I feel like that can happen here too, right? There's so much need that exists. How could my $10 or my $100 make a difference? Or there's some people that are seeing this, been exposed to Reggie's Sleepout, that surely they're gonna do it and take care of it, and that situation will be solved. I'm telling you guys, Toby knows it. Toby's financials don't work without donations. He's got great grants that provide supportive services, but they don't pay for the full fare of the cost of services that Toby and his team are providing. And so he has to subsidize like $350,000 he has to raise every year just to break even. This is our largest fundraiser for Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, actually across YSS. This is our one opportunity to increase significant awareness. All you got to do is sign up, reggiesleepout.org. It is really, really simple. I've done it. The entire senior leadership team has done it. Toby's done it. Hopefully, Rusty, hopefully you've done it. It's easy to do. And like Toby said, you're going to get a water bottle and a sign in your yard so that everybody knows you're sleeping out and encourage themselves to sleep out. And if you're signed up, I know sometimes folks will stop at whatever the first threshold is. But if you could work to raise $100, let's say you asked and got $10 from 10 people, That's $100. If we had 1,000 people to sign up for Reggie Sleepout, all raising $100, that's $100,000. So my appeal to you today is, number one, what we ask pretty much everybody when we sit down with them and we visit with them and we get them to say, wow, this is really great. You guys are doing good work. How could I help? There are 3 ways that you can help. We always have a response: champion, invite, and invest. Champion this cause. It's easy. If you're watching this, you're probably on social media. Just share it. It may not necessarily get a ton of likes. Like my family pictures get lots of likes. My Reggie Sleepout, not so much. But people see it, and people know that you are involved. So be a champion for the cause. Number 2, invite. Invite other people to come alongside. The Facebook post does not get nearly as much traction as the blasted email, which does not get much traction, as a text, which doesn't get nearly as much traction as a phone call, which doesn't get nearly as much traction as a face-to-face request. So in that order, invite other people to come alongside, and then invest. And when we talk about investment, it's time, talent, and treasure. And so just really want to encourage everybody to get out there, get signed up for Reggie Sleepout, experience it one night. You've got this is the first of 10 consecutive nights where you can do this. Share it on social media, RSO at home. Share it with your friends and family. And Toby and Elizabeth deserve the resources that they need to help get the job done. But more than that, do it for that Team 612, homeless youth, raising money for homeless youth. So excited for the 10 days, for the innovation. I'm grateful that Toby chose YSS, that he's calling this his forever job, that he's been with us for 8 years. And the reason that Elizabeth is still working for IHYC is in, obviously the impact that she's creating with the kids, but it's also because she's got a great leader like Toby. And so I'm grateful for the agency that helped to save my life and is continuing to impact and transform lives every day. And I don't know if you're going to close it down, Rusty, but I can't wait to see what happens over these next 9 days. And I really want you guys to come along with us. So now I'm pointing at you, not social media sphere or everybody out there. I am pointing at you. Sign up, get engaged, share it with 3 friends, and get 10 people to donate $10, and the impact that you'll create will be great.
And there you go. I mean, and you have until September 11th.
To sign up.
Yep. September 11th. So you've still got plenty of days out there yet to point your finger at some other folks and really reach out and get folks in that community effort, this Iowa Strong I was talking about, but that's really what it is, and why we have the programs, and why ultimately I think we're blessed with YSS the way that we are. For those of you who are already jumping on board, you're already maybe camping out tonight, or you'll be camping out tomorrow. Whatever your camp out situation is, I also want to make a final plea, please, because I can't wait to see these photos. Take some photos so that we can see them, that we can share them online here, and take the photo, hashtag it RSO at home. So again, right there, RSO at home. You see, Toby, is that your doggy?
What a pretty dog.
Yep. So there we go. So there is a prime example of a beautiful photo and how it can look. Share your photos with us so that we can inspire other folks. So, and then again, invite people to come around the table tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We'll be giving you some updates, giving you some new information, and highlighting another organization and another team for Reggie's Sleepout at home. So Toby, Andrew, anything else you would like to say before we say good night, happy camping for the night?
Just excited for Reggie Sleepout at home.
Yeah.
Blessed to do this work, and can't wait to have you come alongside.
All right. So you all be safe tonight, and we'll see you back here for Reggie's Sleepout at home tomorrow night, 7 p.m. right here on Facebook.